I am Alex, and today we have something really special for you.
Hi everyone, I am Charlotte, and I am so excited about this topic because so many learners ask us how they can sound more like a native speaker in English.
Yes, and honestly, it is not just about perfect grammar or having a huge vocabulary. There is a whole world of little things that make a big difference in real conversations.
Absolutely. Sometimes people think sounding like a native means copying an accent, but it is more about feeling natural and comfortable when you speak.
Exactly. Think about how people talk in real life. They use common phrases. They use small words like yeah, kind of, or you know. And sometimes they do not even finish their sentences. That is all part of sounding natural.
And another thing is listening. If you want to speak like a native, you have to notice how people actually use English in movies, in podcasts, and even on the street.
So in this series, we are going to break down the most important parts of speaking naturally in English. We will talk about pronunciation, intonation, useful phrases, and even some cultural tips that help you connect with people.
And do not worry if you make mistakes. Mistakes are a natural part of the process. All native speakers make them too.
So if you are ready to boost your confidence and speak like a real English speaker, stay with us. We will take you step by step.
Let us begin our journey to sounding natural in English together.
Charlotte, have you ever noticed how native speakers always seem to have something casual to say in any situation? Sometimes I feel like students learn English from textbooks, but when they meet a real English speaker, they get a little lost because the conversation is just different.
Yes, Alex, it happens all the time. You learn, hello, how are you? But no one really answers with, I am fine, thank you, and you. That is so true. People use much more natural ways to greet each other or to start a conversation.
Exactly. For example, when I meet my friends, I just say, hey, how's it going? Or even just, hey, what's up? Sometimes it is something super simple like a morning, or even just a smile and a nod.
Right, and if you try these little expressions, it can really help you feel less nervous because you are using the same language as everyone around you.
Totally. And when you want to end a conversation, you will notice people say things like, catch you later, or gotta run, or take care, instead of the classic, goodbye.
There are so many different ways to say hello and goodbye, and honestly, it is one of the first steps to sounding more natural. Let us talk about greetings for a minute.
Sure. So, imagine you walk into a coffee shop and you see a friend. What do you say? You could say, hey Charlotte, or morning Charlotte, if it is early.
Or, if you see someone at work, you might say, hey, how is your day going? Or even, how are things? It does not always have to be, how are you?
And sometimes people just say, all right, or you okay? As a greeting, especially in British English.
That is right. I remember when I first started talking to native speakers, I was confused by these little things. They would say, you all right? And I thought maybe something was wrong, but actually it just means hello.
It is the same when someone says, what's up? Or what's up? They do not really want to know what is happening. They are just saying hello.
Exactly. The key is to listen for these expressions and try to use them yourself. It will help you fit in and sound more comfortable.
And do not be afraid to use casual language. With friends and people your age, it is totally normal.
So, let us practice a short conversation using these greetings.
Okay, I will start. Hey Charlotte, what is up?
Not much, Alex, just grabbing a coffee. How about you?
Same here. Needed a break from work.
Cool. Well, enjoy your coffee.
Thanks. See you later.
See you.
See how natural that feels? No one used very formal language, and it sounded just like real life.
And that brings us to small talk. This is another big part of native English. People often talk about the weather, their plans, or just something they notice around them.
Yes, small talk is like the oil that keeps a conversation going, even when you do not have anything important to say. It is totally normal to talk about the weather.
So, if you want to start a conversation and you are not sure what to say, you can comment on the weather or ask about someone's plans. For example,
Looks like it might rain today, or any plans for the weekend.
or if you are at work, you can ask, "Did you have a good weekend?" Or, "How was your morning?"
You can also make little observations like, "That coffee smells great," or "This place is really busy today."
All these little comments help you connect with people and keep the conversation light and friendly.
Exactly. And remember, sometimes you do not even need to answer a question with a long explanation. If someone asks, "How are you?" you can just say, "Good, thanks." Or, "Not bad, how about you?"
Sometimes native speakers answer with, "Just surviving," or "Could be better," if they had a tough day. It is not always positive, but it is real.
And if someone says, "What's new?" you can answer with, "Not much," or, "Same old, same old."
I like that phrase, same old, same old. It just means nothing special is happening.
So let us practice some small talk, Charlotte. I will start. "Hey, did you see the weather forecast for today?"
Yeah, I heard it might rain later. Hopefully it will not.
"I know, right? I forgot my umbrella again."
It is always the way. Well, if you get stuck, you can always wait here for the rain to stop.
"Thanks, I might have to do that."
See how easy it is to keep talking even when the topic is simple?
Totally. And that is how friendships often start, just talking about small things.
Another tip is to ask open questions. These are questions that need more than just a yes or no answer, like, "What did you do last weekend?" Or, "How did your project go?"
Yes, open questions help the other person talk more and keep the conversation going.
So, for example, if you meet someone new at an event, you could say, "How do you know the host?" Or, "Have you tried the food here?"
And if you want to join a group conversation, you can listen for a moment, then say something like, "That sounds interesting. What are you talking about?"
It is all about being curious and showing interest in the other person.
Exactly. And if you ever feel nervous, just remember most people appreciate it when someone tries to talk to them.
So, let us do a quick role play. You are new at a party and I am a guest.
Okay, hi, I'm Alex. This is my first time here.
Hi, Alex, welcome. How do you know the host?
Oh, we work together. How about you?
We went to school together. It is nice to meet someone new.
Thanks. Have you tried the snacks? They look good.
Not yet, but I will. I'm always hungry at parties.
Same here.
See, that is a real conversation. It flows, and there is no pressure to be perfect.
And you do not have to worry about making mistakes. People are usually friendly and understanding.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel.
One last thing about small talk. Remember to smile and use friendly body language.
That is so important. Even if your words are simple, your attitude shows a lot.
Okay, before we finish this chapter, let us review some of the useful vocabulary and phrases we used today.
Great idea. Here are some of my favorites from today. Hey, what is up? Not much. Same here. See you later. Catch you later. Gotta run. Take care.
Also, small talk phrases like "looks like it might rain today," "any plans for the weekend," "how was your morning," "just surviving," same old," "that coffee smells great."
And do not forget open questions like, What did you do last weekend? Or, how do you know the host?
If you want to sound more like a native, try using these in your daily conversations.
Practice makes perfect. Remember, you do not need to speak fast or use difficult words. Natural English is about connection.
That is it for this chapter. Next time, we will talk about pronunciation, rhythm, and how native speakers connect their words.
See you then, and happy speaking, everyone.
Charlotte, I have a question for you. When you were first learning English, did you ever feel like you understood the words, but when you heard native speakers talking, it was like everything turned into one long sound?
Yes, Alex, that happened to me all the time. In school, I learned to pronounce each word slowly and clearly, but then I listened to real conversations, and I could not understand much because the words all blended together.
Exactly. This is one of the biggest surprises for most learners. Textbooks teach us to speak word by word, but in real life, English is more like a song. Words connect, sounds change, and sometimes letters just disappear.
That is true, and that is why it is so important to focus not just on single words, but on how they sound together in a sentence.
Let us talk about pronunciation first. A lot of learners worry about having an accent or pronouncing every sound perfectly. But honestly, native speakers all have different accents too.
That is right. For example, people from the north of England sound very different from people in the south. Americans sound different from Australians, and so on.
Exactly. So the goal is not to sound exactly like someone from London or New York. The goal is to be clear and natural, and not to be afraid of your own accent.
That is a really good point, Alex. I think a lot of people feel nervous about their accent, but sometimes your accent is part of your personality, and it is completely okay.
Definitely. What matters more is your rhythm and intonation. That is what makes your English sound more natural.
Rhythm in English is about which words are stressed and which ones are not. Some words are strong, and others are very fast and weak.
Let us try an example. Say this sentence with me. I want to go to the store.
When I say it, I stress I, want, go, and store. The words to and the are much softer, almost like background music.
Right. So it sounds like, I want to go to the store.
And that is what makes English sound a bit like music. There is a beat, and the small words move quickly.
Now let us talk about connected speech. This is when words join together and the sounds change.
Yes, for example, if you say, I am going to eat, you do not say, I am going to eat. Each word is not separate. In real life, it sounds more like, I am gonna eat.
That is right. Gonna is a very common way to connect going to, and it is totally natural.
Another example is want to, which often becomes wanna. I wanna go home.
Exactly. And did you notice that the T sound almost disappears sometimes? For example, in the phrase best of all. It can sound like bez of all.
It is not just the T. Sometimes H can disappear too. Like in the sentence, tell him I will call him later. It can sound like, tell him I will call him later.
Native speakers do this all the time without thinking. It is just how English flows.
Another interesting thing is linking the end of one word with the start of the next. Like in the phrase turn off, it sounds like turn off.
Or when a word ends in a consonant and the next word starts with a vowel. For example, pick it up becomes pick it up.
That is a good one. And sometimes words get even shorter. For example, give me becomes gimme.
Let us try a quick practice, Charlotte. Repeat after me. I am going to call her.
I'm gonna call her.
Now faster. I'm going to call her.
I'm gonna call her.
Perfect. Did you notice how call her almost becomes caller?
Yes, and that is why sometimes students think native speakers are talking too fast, but actually, they are just connecting words.
Exactly. And you do not need to use all these shortcuts all the time, but listening for them will help you understand native speakers much better.
And when you feel confident, you can try using some in your own speech. It will make you sound more relaxed and natural.
Let us talk a bit about intonation too. Intonation is how your voice rises and falls when you speak.
In English, when you ask a yes or no question, your voice usually goes up at the end. Like, "Are you coming?"
But with information questions starting with what, where, when, who, why, or how, your voice often goes down at the end. Like, where are you going?
Yes, and if you are just making a statement, your voice usually falls a little at the end. I am going to the store.
Practicing intonation can help you sound more confident and clear.
Also, listen for how people express emotion. For example, if you are excited, your voice might rise. If you are disappointed, your voice might fall and sound lower.
So let us practice a little conversation using these connected speech patterns and intonation.
Sounds good.
Hey Charlotte, what you doing this weekend?
Not much, just gonna relax at home. How about you?
I am thinking of checking out that new cafe. You want to join?
Sure, sounds fun. Let me know what time.
Will do. I will text you later.
Thanks.
That is exactly how friends talk in real life. Did you notice the phrases like whatcha, which is what are you, gonna, which is going to, and will do instead of I will do it?
And sounds fun is a quick way to say, that sounds like fun.
Let us practice another one. How about the phrase, did you eat yet?
Most native speakers say something like, "Jeet yet?" It is so fast the words almost disappear.
Yes, jeet yet means did you eat yet? It is funny but very common.
So when you listen to movies or podcasts, pay attention to these little changes. It will help you understand more.
Another good way to practice is to repeat after native speakers. Pause a video, say the sentence out loud, and try to match the rhythm and sound.
This technique is called shadowing, and it is one of the best ways to improve your pronunciation and connected speech.
Let us try a mini shadowing practice. I will say a sentence, and you repeat after me, okay?
Ready?
Here we go. Give me a second.
Give me a second.
Did you get my message?
Did you get my message?
What you want to do tonight?
What you want to do tonight?
See, it gets easier the more you practice.
Yes, and you can even record yourself and listen back to see how you sound.
Do not worry about being perfect. Focus on being clear and natural.
One more thing, remember that every accent is unique. Even native speakers do not sound the same.
Exactly. So celebrate your accent and focus on the music of English.
Before we finish, let us review some of the vocabulary and phrases we used today and talk about the way they are pronounced in real life.
We talked about gonna, which comes from going to, wanna, which is want to, gotta, which is got to, gimme, which is give me, and didja, which is did you.
Also words like whatcha, which comes from what are you, and phrases like jeet yet, which means did you eat yet?
Do not forget about linking words like pick it up, and turn off. Turn off.
For intonation, we practiced raising your voice for yes or no questions and lowering it for statements.
And for rhythm, we stressed the important words in a sentence and let the small words move quickly.
If you want to sound more like a native, listen carefully to how people talk and practice these patterns every day.
It will feel strange at first, but soon it will be natural.
That is all for today. In the next chapter, we will talk about using fillers, slang, and real-life phrases to make your English sound even more authentic.
See you then, and keep practicing. Charlotte, do you remember the first time you tried to follow a group of native English speakers chatting among themselves? I remember just sitting there and thinking, wait, what language is this? They are using so many words and sounds that I have never seen in any textbook.
Oh yes, I know that feeling. It can be really confusing at first because there are all these little words and phrases that do not mean much by themselves, but they help keep the conversation moving. Native speakers use a lot of fillers and slang, and sometimes it feels like a secret code.
That is true, and honestly, fillers are not only okay, they are a very important part of sounding natural in English. When you listen to real conversations, you will hear words like well, like, you know, actually, literally, basically, and even just sounds like or ah.
Exactly, and fillers help you sound more relaxed and natural. They give you a moment to think about what you want to say next, and they make the conversation flow.
Let us try a quick experiment, Charlotte. I will tell a short story first without any fillers, and then with fillers. You tell me which one sounds more natural.
Okay, I am ready.
Here is the first version. Yesterday, I went to the store. I bought some fruit. I saw my friend. We talked. Then I went home.
That is very simple and clear, but it sounds kind of robotic.
Right. Now here is the second version. Yesterday, I went to the store and I bought some fruit, and then, I saw my friend, and we talked for a bit. Then I went home.
That sounds much more like real conversation. There are pauses, it feels softer and more friendly.
Exactly. You do not want to use too many fillers, but adding them from time to time is completely normal.
I agree, and sometimes you need a little time to think, especially if you are nervous. So words like well or actually are very helpful.
Let us try practicing a mini conversation with fillers.
Sure, Alex, you start.
Well, I was thinking we could maybe go to the park later if you want.
Yeah, actually, that sounds nice. I mean, the weather is pretty good today.
Do you want to invite some other friends, or just us?
I am not sure, maybe just us this time.
Cool, let me know what time works for you.
Okay, I will text you later.
See how natural that feels? It is just like two friends making plans, and it is totally okay to use small words and sounds to fill the spaces.
And do not forget about phrases like kind of, sort of, or I guess. These also help you sound less direct and more polite.
For example, if someone asks you if you like a movie, you can say, yeah, it was kind of interesting, or I guess it was okay. That is very natural.
Yes, and it is a good way to show you are thinking or not sure.
Now, let us talk about slang. Slang is one of those things that can make English fun, but also a little difficult to understand at first.
Definitely. Every country and even every city has its own slang, but there are some phrases and words that are very popular everywhere.
For example, cool, awesome, dude, no way, chill, hang out.
And some expressions like I am broke means I do not have any money, or that is sick, meaning that is amazing.
Or phrases like that is lit, meaning it is really good or fun. And if you are tired, you might say, I am beat.
Right. If you are going to bed, you can say, I am hitting the sack. Or if you need to leave, you can say, I gotta bounce.
Let us use some of these in a conversation.
Hey, Alex, do you want to hang out this weekend?
Yeah, sounds awesome. What do you want to do?
I heard there is a cool concert downtown. It is supposed to be lit.
No way, really. That sounds sick. Who is playing?
A band called The Rockets. They are pretty chill.
Dude, I am in. But I am a little broke right now.
No worries, I can get the tickets this time.
Thanks. I owe you one.
No problem, that is what friends are for.
See how much slang and casual phrases we used, and it still sounds totally normal?
And sometimes slang changes really fast. So do not worry if you do not understand everything at first. Just focus on the phrases that you hear most often.
And if you are not sure what something means, just ask. People usually like to explain their favorite slang.
Another thing is real-life phrases. These are little expressions that you will not find in most textbooks, but they are everywhere in conversation.
Things like, you know what I mean, or at the end of the day, or by the way, or long story short.
Or if you want to sound supernatural, you can use phrases like to be honest, honestly, or actually to begin your sentences.
Let us practice some of those.
Alex, do you think learning slang is really important?
To be honest, I think it is useful, but you do not need to learn everything at once.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I learn new slang all the time.
Same here. And by the way, if you ever hear something and you are not sure what it means, just ask me.
Thanks, I will. That is really helpful.
Another phrase I hear a lot is, I am not sure, but I think. Or, I could be wrong, but.
Yes, those help you sound less direct and more polite. It is good to use them if you are giving your opinion.
Charlotte, what do you think is the best way to learn real-life English?
Honestly, I think you just have to spend time listening and practicing. It is not about memorizing a long list of words, but about hearing them in context.
I agree. Watching TV shows and listening to podcasts helps a lot. And speaking with friends.
Even just talking to yourself in English can help you practice using fillers and phrases.
One thing that helped me was repeating after native speakers when watching a show.
Yes, that is called shadowing, and it is a great way to learn how real conversations sound.
Before we finish this chapter, let us review some of the useful vocabulary and phrases from today and show how they fit into real life.
First, we talked about fillers. Words like well, like, you know, actually, I mean, sort of, kind of, I guess.
Then we had slang words. Cool, awesome, dude, no way, chill, hang out, sick, lit, I am beat, I am broke, I am hitting the sack, I gotta bounce.
Also, we used real-life phrases like, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, by the way, long story short, to be honest, honestly, actually, I could be wrong but.
These are all things you can use in your conversations with friends or when chatting online.
Do not worry about using them perfectly. The more you listen and practice, the easier it gets.
Try adding a few of these words and phrases next time you speak English and see how people react.
Most people will notice you sound much more relaxed and natural.
In the next chapter, we are going to talk about thinking in English and how to respond instantly so you can keep a conversation going without having to translate in your head.
Thanks for joining us. Keep listening and keep practicing.
Charlotte, do you remember a time when you wanted to say something in English but your mind went completely blank? Maybe you had the idea in your native language, but you just could not find the English words fast enough.
Oh, absolutely, Alex. That happened to me so many times when I started learning English. I would listen to a question, and in my head I would quickly translate everything to my language and then back to English. It took so much time.
Me too, and honestly, this is something a lot of English learners struggle with. It is totally normal at first. But if you want to sound more like a native, you have to train your brain to think in English.
That is true. I think thinking in English is a skill, and you can practice it. Like any other skill, it takes time and patience. But it is possible, and it makes a huge difference.
So let us talk about how you can start thinking in English. First, I think the most important thing is to surround yourself with English as much as possible. That means listening to music, watching shows, or reading, even just a few minutes every day.
Yes, and it also helps to talk to yourself in English. For example, when you wake up in the morning, try to describe your routine in English, even if it is just simple sentences.
That is a great tip, Charlotte, like, I am brushing my teeth, or I am making breakfast.
Exactly. Or when you go outside, you can look around and name the things you see in English. I see a tree, I see a car, there is a bird.
And when you have a feeling or a thought, you can try to express it in English too. Even if it is not perfect, just try.
Another thing that helped me was keeping a little notebook or using my phone to write down new words or sentences that I wanted to remember.
Me too. I used to make a list of the things I wanted to say but did not know how to say in English. Then I would look them up later and practice using them.
Let us try a little exercise together. I will say a sentence in my native language and then try to say it in English as fast as I can. Ready?
Go for it.
Okay, here is my sentence. I am going to meet my friend for coffee.
Great, that was quick. Now try to say it in a different way.
Sure. I am meeting a friend for coffee later. Or, I have plans to get coffee with my friend.
Perfect. That is how you build flexibility in your English.
And if you do not know a word, you can describe it or use a simple phrase. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say, the thing you use when it rains.
Yes, that is called paraphrasing, and it is a very useful skill. It helps keep the conversation going even if you do not know every word.
Another important trick is to use common response phrases. These are the little things native speakers say without thinking. They help you respond quickly and keep the conversation moving.
Phrases like, really, no way, seriously, that is cool, sounds good, I see, oh, okay.
Let us try a short dialogue using only simple response phrases.
Charlotte, I just got a new job.
Wow, really? That is awesome.
Yeah, I start next week.
No way, congratulations.
Thanks, I am a little nervous but excited.
You will do great, I am sure.
See how just using those little responses helps keep the conversation alive?
Exactly. And when you listen to native speakers, you will hear these all the time. Sometimes people just say, oh, or yeah, or I know, to show they are listening.
That is a great point. Also, do not be afraid of making mistakes. The more you speak, the easier it gets.
And sometimes if you are stuck, you can use a filler or pause for a second. It is totally normal to take a moment and think.
Here is another tip. Try not to translate in your head. Instead, focus on the meaning and use words or phrases you already know.
Right. For example, if you want to say that you are tired but you do not remember the word exhausted, just say, I am really tired, or I am very sleepy.
And if you forget a word in the middle of a sentence, do not panic. Just say, I cannot remember the word, or how do you say?
Native speakers do that too. Sometimes I forget a word in English and I just ask for help.
Let us try a little role play. I will pretend to forget a word.
Sounds fun.
Charlotte, do you know where my, how do you say the thing you use to cut paper?
You mean scissors?
Yes, scissors, thank you.
That is totally normal, and it is better to keep talking than to stop completely.
Another good idea is to prepare common phrases you can use in many situations. For example, I am not sure, let me think, or that is a good question, or can you repeat that, please?
Yes, having these phrases ready can really help you feel more confident and respond faster.
Let us do a quick practice. I will ask you questions, and you try to answer without stopping to translate.
Okay, I am ready.
What did you do last weekend?
I went to the park with my family and we had a picnic.
Nice. What did you eat?
We brought sandwiches, fruit, and some snacks.
Sounds delicious. Did you play any games?
Yes, we played soccer and my little brother won.
That is great. See, you answered quickly and naturally.
Thank you. The more I practice, the easier it gets.
Exactly. And that is what thinking in English is all about. Using what you know to communicate right away.
And do not worry if your sentences are simple. The most important thing is to keep going.
Another thing to remember is that speaking fast is not always better. Sometimes speaking a little slower and clearly is actually more natural.
Yes, you do not have to rush. Just focus on being clear.
Before we finish, let us review some of the useful vocabulary and phrases from this chapter.
Here are some of the response phrases we practiced. Really? No way. Seriously? That is cool. Sounds good. I see. Oh, okay. I know.
Also useful sentences like I am not sure, let me think. Can you repeat that, please? Or how do you say?
And techniques like paraphrasing, describing a word if you forget it, and practicing thinking in English with everyday routines.
You can also try talking to yourself in English, writing new words, and using response phrases to answer quickly.
The more you do it, the more natural your English will become.
And remember, mistakes are part of learning. Every time you speak, you get better.
That is it for this chapter. In the next one, we are going to talk about building confidence, using body language, and understanding cultural differences so you can connect with people on a deeper level.
Thanks for listening, and keep practicing thinking in English every day. Charlotte, I think a lot of people who study English worry about sounding silly or making mistakes. I remember when I started learning a new language, I was always so nervous to speak in front of others. What about you?
Yes, Alex, I used to be very shy too. I worried a lot about getting the grammar wrong, or maybe people would not understand me. But honestly, now I see that everyone makes mistakes. It is part of learning.
Exactly. Sometimes I feel like the biggest difference between people who speak English well and those who do not is just confidence. The people who are willing to try, who do not get too worried about mistakes, end up learning much faster.
That is so true. Confidence makes a big difference. When you speak with confidence, people listen to you more and they understand you better.
So let us talk about some ways to build confidence when speaking English. First, I think it is important to remember that nobody is perfect. Even native speakers make mistakes.
Yes, I make mistakes in English sometimes, and it is my first language. Everyone does. It is normal to forget a word or say something the wrong way.
Another tip is to practice as much as possible. The more you speak, the more natural it will feel. Find people you can practice with. Maybe a language partner, or even just talking to yourself in the mirror.
Or you can record yourself speaking and listen back. Sometimes when you hear yourself, you notice the things you want to improve and you realize you sound better than you think.
I love that idea. Recording yourself is a great way to track your progress.
And remember to celebrate small successes. Every time you have a conversation or use a new word, you should feel proud.
Definitely. Sometimes it helps to set small goals. Like today I will use 3 new phrases, or I will start a conversation with someone at work.
Little by little, your confidence will grow. And if you ever feel nervous, just take a deep breath and smile. Smiling really helps.
That brings us to another important part of sounding like a native. using body language and facial expressions.
Yes, communication is not just about words. It is about how you say them. Your body language sends a message too.
For example, if you want to show you are friendly, make eye contact and smile. People will feel comfortable talking to you.
Or if you want to show you are listening, nod your head and say things like, I see, or uh-huh.
Even small gestures like raising your eyebrows or using your hands when you talk make a big difference.
It is interesting how these little things help you connect with people.
And sometimes body language can be different in other cultures. For example, in some places people shake hands when they meet, but in others they hug or just wave.
Yes, and even things like personal space can be different. In some countries, people stand very close when they talk. In others, they prefer more distance.
If you are not sure what to do, just watch how other people act and follow their lead.
Another cultural thing is how people use humor. In English, jokes are very common, and sometimes people tease each other as a way to be friendly.
That is right. If someone jokes with you or makes a funny comment, it usually means they like you. It is part of being friendly.
And it is okay to laugh at yourself if you make a mistake. It helps everyone relax.
Let us do a little role play about making a mistake and handling it with confidence.
Okay, I will start. Hi, Alex. How are you today?
Oh, I am good, Charlotte. I had a funny moment at lunch today. I tried to order a sandwich and I asked for a chicken sand instead of sandwich. The server laughed, but it was okay.
That is funny. I have made mistakes like that too. Once I called a cup of tea a cup of tea by accident.
See? Everyone makes little mistakes, and it can even be a way to start a conversation.
Exactly. If you can laugh at yourself and keep going, people will appreciate your effort.
Another cultural thing is how people give compliments. In English, it is common to say things like, nice job, or you did great, or I like your shirt.
And if someone gives you a compliment, the usual response is, thank you, or thanks, that is so nice.
Let us practice giving and receiving compliments.
Alex, I like your new haircut.
Thank you, Charlotte. I appreciate it.
You did a great job on your presentation yesterday.
Thanks. I worked hard on it.
That was easy, right? Giving compliments helps build good relationships.
It does, and so does being positive and supportive.
Sometimes in English conversations, people use polite phrases to make requests or suggestions, like, could you help me with this? Or, would you mind closing the window?
Yes, politeness is very important. It is normal to say please and thank you and to use soft language when making requests.
For example, instead of saying, give me that pen, you can say, could I borrow that pen, please?
And if someone helps you, do not forget to say thanks a lot or I really appreciate it.
Let us try a conversation using polite language.
Charlotte, would you mind helping me with my homework?
Not at all. I would be happy to help.
Thank you so much.
No problem. That is what friends are for.
See? It is not hard to be polite, and it makes a big difference.
One last tip for building confidence is to remember that most people want to help you learn. They appreciate your effort.
Yes, and sometimes they are curious about your language and culture too. You can teach each other.
Language is about connection, not perfection.
That is a wonderful way to say it, Charlotte.
Thank you, Alex.
Before we finish, let us review some of the vocabulary, phrases, and cultural tips from this chapter.
First, for building confidence. Practice as much as possible, record yourself, celebrate small successes, set little goals, smile and breathe.
For body language, make eye contact. Smile, nod your head, use your hands, show you are listening.
About culture, watch how others act, respect personal space, understand that humor and jokes are common, give and receive compliments.
For polite language, use please and thank you. use "would you mind" or "could I please." Try to be positive and supportive.
And do not forget, if you make a mistake, laugh and keep going. Everyone understands, and it is part of learning.
Most importantly, remember that speaking English is not just about words. It is about making friends and sharing ideas.
That is all for this chapter. Next, we will have our final thoughts and bring together everything we learned about sounding natural and speaking with confidence.
Thanks for being with us on this journey. Keep speaking, keep smiling, and keep growing. Charlotte, it feels amazing to look back at everything we have talked about in this series. I really hope our listeners feel more confident now about speaking English like a native.
Me too, Alex. We started by talking about simple greetings, small talk, and how to make conversations feel natural. That is always the first step.
Then we explored pronunciation, rhythm, and the way native speakers connect their words. It was fun practicing all those real-life examples.
After that, we talked about fillers, slang, and those little phrases that make conversations sound more relaxed and friendly. I think that is what makes English feel alive.
In the next chapter, we shared tips on thinking in English and responding quickly. That is so important if you want to speak more fluently and feel comfortable in any situation.
And finally, we discussed building confidence, understanding body language, and learning about cultural differences. I think those things help us not just speak English, but really connect with people.
Yes, that is the real goal of learning a language: to make friends, to share stories, and to learn from each other.
If you remember just one thing from this series, I hope it is that you do not have to be perfect to sound natural. You just have to try, keep practicing, and not be afraid of mistakes.
Every conversation is a chance to grow. Every time you use a new word or ask a question, you are getting better.
And remember, you are never alone. Everyone who learns a new language faces challenges, but you have already come so far.
We want to thank all of you for joining us on Love English Lab. We hope you will keep listening, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself.
And if you ever feel stuck, remember you can always come back and listen again. We are always here to help.
Until next time, keep practicing and speak with confidence.
Bye for now, and good luck on your journey to sounding like a native speaker.